Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that's sending shockwaves not just across Russia, but around the world. It's a story filled with tension, emotion, and symbolism, the explosion that rocked the Crimea Bridge, a structure that has stood as one of the most important and controversial symbols of Russia's control over Crimea. The footage that's just emerged paints a dramatic, almost cinematic picture of destruction, confusion, and outrage. But beyond the smoke and the shattered steel lies something much deeper, a shift in the tides of power, strategy, and perception. When news first broke that the Crimea Bridge had been hit again, disbelief spread through social media like wildfire. People began sharing the footage within minutes. The video showed a fiery explosion lighting up the night sky, flames climbing high, and debris crashing into the dark waters below. The moment captured in that footage wasn't just an explosion, it was a message. A signal that even one of the most heavily guarded and symbolically powerful structures in modern warfare is not beyond reach. To understand the gravity of this event, you have to remember what this bridge represents. Built under the direct orders of Vladimir Putin after Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, the Crimea Bridge, also known as the Kerch Strait Bridge, is not just an engineering project. It's a political statement. Stretching nearly 19 kilometers, it physically connects mainland Russia to the Crimean Peninsula, solidifying Russia's claim over the territory in concrete and steel. For Russia, it's a lifeline. For Ukraine, it's a symbol of occupation. So when explosions tore through it again, it struck not just the bridge, but Russia's pride. And this is not the first time. Back in October 2022, the bridge suffered another massive blast that caused part of it to collapse. That attack was a turning point in the war. It showed that Ukraine or its allies could hit targets deep within Russian-controlled areas. And now, once again, the footage emerging from this latest explosion is reigniting those same fears and frustrations. The video footage shows a massive fireball lighting up the night sky, the shockwave rippling across the sea. Cars screech to a halt. Drivers abandon their vehicles and run. You can hear the panic in their voices, the disbelief that something like this could happen again. The bridge that once symbolized Russia's unbreakable hold over Crimea is now trembling under the weight of reality. Russia immediately blamed Ukraine, accusing it of terrorism and promising retaliation. The Kremlin issued a swift statement calling it a cowardly act and vowed to bring those responsible to justice. But at the same time, analysts across the world are pointing to the timing right as winter approaches, when supply lines become crucial and morale on both sides is fragile. The Crimea Bridge isn't just a structure. It's the artery through which Russia supplies its forces in southern Ukraine. Damaging it means slowing down the war machine, cutting off reinforcements, fuel, and ammunition. But beyond the military implications, the psychological impact is massive. Imagine being in Moscow, watching that footage play on every social media platform, realizing that even one of the most protected pieces of infrastructure in the country isn't safe. It shakes confidence, it sparks anger, it stirs fear, and those emotions can shift the course of public opinion, which in turn shapes how a nation responds. As Russian media scrambled to control the narrative, they released limited footage and heavily edited clips, trying to downplay the extent of the damage. But satellite images and independent videos tell another story: twisted steel, collapsed sections, vehicles stranded mid-way, and smoke drifting for miles. The sea beneath the bridge is littered with debris. The impact is undeniable. For Ukraine, though they haven't officially claimed responsibility, the symbolism is clear. This is a message of defiance, a statement that no matter how fortified, Russia's grip can still be shaken. Each attack like this doesn't just target logistics, it targets the very image of Russian invincibility. It chips away at the narrative that Moscow has control over Crimea, and that's a powerful psychological weapon. The people of Crimea are living through uncertainty once again. For them, the bridge has been more than just a road. It's been their connection to the outside world. Now, it's a reminder of vulnerability. Many residents reported hearing the blast miles away. Some even said their homes shook as if an earthquake had struck. Videos taken from nearby show chaos, confusion, and fear. Police cars race through the night, sirens echoing across the dark waters. Military helicopters circled overhead, scanning for further threats, and amid the chaos, questions are mounting. How did the attackers manage to breach one of Russia's most secure infrastructures? Was it a drone strike? Was it sabotage from within? Some reports suggest the use of naval drones, unmanned sea vehicles packed with explosives, controlled remotely and directed with precision. Others hint at internal sabotage, suggesting that discontent inside Russian ranks may be deeper than anyone suspected. No matter the cause, the result is the same: a powerful blow to Russia's image and logistics. Videos from the scene show burn, doused vehicles and sections of roadway hanging precariously over the water. Emergency workers rushed in, trying to extinguish fires and secure the site, but the damage was already done. The bridge was once again partially closed, and traffic rerouted through long detours. The sense of control Russia once boasted over Crimea now feels fragile. Internationally, the response has been mixed. Western nations have largely remained silent on the specifics, but continue to emphasize Ukraine's right to defend its territory. Meanwhile, Russian allies like China and Iran have issued cautious statements, calling for restraint but avoiding direct criticism. This careful diplomacy shows just how delicate the geopolitical balance has become. Everyone is watching. Everyone knows that every explosion, every act of retaliation, could change the course of this war and perhaps the future of the entire region. Inside Russia, however, the mood is dark. State media calls for revenge. Social media is filled with patriotic anger and frustration. Some blame intelligence failures. Others are starting to question how secure anything really is. Putin himself, according to Kremlin sources, has ordered immediate investigations and promised to reinforce security on all major infrastructure projects. But the bigger question remains: can Russia afford to keep defending what's increasingly becoming indefensible? This explosion also comes at a critical time in the war. Ukraine has been stepping up its counteroffensives, focusing on weakening Russia's supply chains rather than direct confrontations. It's a smart strategy. You don't have to win every battle if you can starve your enemy of resources. The Crimea Bridge is the ultimate target in that strategy. Cutting it means isolating Russian troops in the south, creating logistical nightmares that could ripple across the front lines. The footage circulating online now has become a symbol. It's more than a clip, it's a statement of resilience and resistance. You can see the defiance in the comments, the hope among Ukrainians that this might mark a turning point, and the frustration among Russians who once believed in an untouchable military machine. War in the modern era isn't just fought with weapons, it's fought with images, videos, and information. This footage, raw and shocking, is another front in that digital war. The images of flames consuming the bridge are now etched in history, much like those moments that defined major conflicts. Just as past wars had their iconic photographs, this video will be remembered as a defining visual of this one. The glow of fire over the Kerch Strait isn't just light from an explosion, it's a reflection of how fragile power can be, no matter how solid it seems. As cleanup efforts continue, Russia has promised to rebuild, to restore the bridge stronger than before. But rebuilding physical structures is one thing, rebuilding confidence is another. The psychological damage will linger. For Russia's leadership, this is a painful reminder that even symbols of dominance can become targets. For Ukraine and its allies, It's proof that persistence and precision can challenge even the mightiest of powers. In the coming days, we'll see propaganda, counter-propaganda, official statements, and denials. But one thing is certain, this explosion marks another shift in a conflict that's already reshaping the world order. The battle for Crimea isn't just about territory anymore. It's about narrative, pride, and the struggle for legitimacy on both sides. As the footage continues to circulate, more angles and clips are emerging, each one showing just how powerful and destructive the blast was. Analysts are now studying the smoke patterns, the point of impact, and the timing of the explosions. Some believe this was a coordinated strike designed not just to damage, but to send a psychological message to the Kremlin. The level of precision suggests careful planning and intelligence gathering that goes far beyond random attack. Meanwhile, ordinary Russians are grappling with fear and confusion. For them, the bridge represented connection and security. Now, it represents exposure, the realization that the war they thought was distant can strike close to home. Across Russian social networks, people are questioning how this could happen again, after years of promises and reinforced defenses. And those questions, even when whispered, carry weight. For the families of soldiers stationed in Crimea, this explosion raises deeper fears. Supply lines disrupted mean longer delays, fewer reinforcements, and more uncertainty. Soldiers already fatigued and isolated may now find themselves cut off, vulnerable, and desperate. War isn't just fought on the battlefield, it's fought in morale, in spirit, and in perception. This explosion weakens all three for Russia while boosting them for Ukraine. But amidst all the chaos, there's one haunting truth. The footage we're all watching, the flames lighting up the night, the trembling voices of witnesses, they remind us of the human cost behind every headline. Each explosion, each retaliation means more lives disrupted, more families broken, more futures uncertain. Behind the politics and strategy lies pain, loss, and fear emotions that echo far beyond the blast site. This latest attack on the Crimea Bridge isn't just another event in a long war. It's a message carved in fire and steel, telling the world that this conflict is far from over. It's evolving, intensifying, and reaching new psychological depths. Every bridge destroyed, every power line severed, every strike on symbolic infrastructure is a step toward a new chapter, one where resilience, information, and symbolism might matter as much as firepower. So as we watch the footage and analyze the details, we're witnessing more than just a bridge explosion. We're witnessing a moment in history, one that will be studied, debated, and remembered for years. It's a stark reminder that power, no matter how firm it seems, is always vulnerable, and that in the struggle for dominance, even symbols can burn. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe and share it, because stories like this remind us that the world is changing faster than we think. Stay safe, stay aware, and as always, keep your eyes open to the truth unfolding before us.